Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Shway Shway with Shammi, where we talk about desi life in small doses. So it's another day here in Cancun, Mexico, and we are off to the Mayan Riviera. We're going to see a place called Chichen Itza, where you have something called the El Castillo, which is a pyramid-like structure, which is considered one of the new seven wonders of the world. And it was built somewhere around the 400 AD range. And just to put it in context, around 400 AD, Mauryan civilization was already thriving in northern India. So was the Chora dynasty. Sangam literature was at its peak, and Roman civilization was thriving. And guess what? America had not even been founded. Christopher Columbus would come about 1,000 years later. So here there were all these civilizations and empires that were thriving and doing well. And we're going to see one of them, which is the Mayan civilization. We're going to enter the Mayan Riviera, which is a jungle area, get to meet people, understand the Mayan culture, and of course see El Castillo at Chichen Itza. So come along the journey with us on this Mayan Riviera adventure. From Cancun, Chichen Itza is about 3 hours away. So our first stop was at a Mayan village. Village might be a stretch. It's more of a settlement, a small grouping of houses, some of them really small and dilapidated. And it gives you a sense of how Mayans live today. And in the midst of this settlement area was a cooperative where they sold trinkets and souvenirs for tourists. Just outside this cooperative, the tour organizers invited us to participate in a Mayan ritual where a shaman walks in and we're all asked to raise our hands and be in prayer. And there's a guy to the side who's not really in this picture, but who's waving a pot of fuming incense. And that reminded me of the Indian sambrani or dhoop. An interesting experience. We then stopped by at a restaurant which was really festive, and it had a lot of music and dance. And hey, if you're a vegetarian, you have some really good vegetarian options here. It had been a long day already, a muggy afternoon. But then when you finally come eye to eye with Chichen Itza at this pyramid-like structure, you're filled with a sense of wonder. Here's something that was built thousands of years ago, now one of the seven wonders of the world, and you realize that your life, your present moment, is intersecting with something from the past. You're just filled with awe. All right, so finally we are here. We are here at Chichen Itza. This is one of the seven new wonders of the world, and it's also been declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And what you see behind me, that's come to symbolize what Chichen Itza is. And this was a sprawling city during the Mayan civilization. The pyramid-like structure that you see behind me, that's called the El Castillo. It's a temple of the feathered serpent. And what's really remarkable is the Mayan mathematics and their beliefs that's gone into the design of this architecture. You can see there are 9 steps here, and each of those 9 steps represent, the 9 months it takes for a baby to be born, and the 9 levels it takes humans, like to go through their process of reincarnation. And the Mayans, like many of the Hindu culture, they believe in reincarnation. And besides the 9 levels, it also has 4 sides. As you can see, they believe in symmetry. And each side has about 91 steps. So together, that's 364 steps. And if you include the one at the right at the top, that's 365. So when you think of the Mayan calendar, they designed this to be the Mayan calendar. This is how they calculated their solstices, the spring, and their fall solstice, so they could plant their corn, they could grow their crops. So there was so much of architectural marvel, not just here but throughout this Chichen Itza historical site. This area of Chichen Itza is called the Stadium. This is where Mayan warriors would play a game which is somewhat similar to modern day basketball. The kings would sit on either side and watch the game. We also visited a cenote near Chichen Itza. Cenotes are like underground water bodies, sinkholes if you will, and there are over 10,000 cenotes in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. The ancient Mayans used these cenotes as places of worship, and they also used them as places where they did human sacrifice. So easier to wash away the blood, you see. So next time you decide to jump into a cenote, just think about what else could have happened thousands of years ago. All right, that was a tour of Chichen Itza, one of the new 7 wonders of the world. And as we wrap up this trip, I can't but be amazed by the similarities between the Mayan culture and our own Indian culture. Their focus on math, on astronomy, on precision of their architecture. In fact, I can draw parallels with many of our Indian empires, including the Cholas. The Mayan calendar, for example, there's a little tidbit of information. The Mayan calendar was so precise that when the Spanish invaded this area, they did what? They plagiarized it and turned into something that we use today, the Gregorian calendar. So with that little tidbit of history, signing off from Chichen Itza, stick with us and continue to watch us on Shway Shway with Shammi. Bye.